Hey there, it's your favorite auntie. It's Dr. here. And it's one of those Talk to Tameka days. And so, whether you get this message on a Tuesday or not, know that Auntie Doc is always ready to talk about experiences and everything having to do with business and real estate. So, today on our international journeys, I've got a whole bunch of questions about um, people who, how do you identify if a market or a person in a market is doing good business? So, guys, over the last 2 years, it has been a whirlwind. And since I've been investing internationally and checking out different places, Mexico, all of those things, my first opportunity to work in an international market, I was in my early 20s, probably 21, I believe, at the time, or something like that. And I remember people saying like they were scammed and all those kinds of things. And this is early on, and this was Mexico. But fast forward to now, not much has changed. And so I want to give you guys some input of how you can figure these things out and how you can do the research in your own due diligence in these international spaces. And so some people will constantly ask, how do they keep getting away with it? What's going on? Those kinds of things. And, it is now my experience that you have to dig a little deeper. A lot of jurisdictions are not set up like the US, so you can't plug someone's name into a database and just see information on them. Okay. Also, there are a lot of people, these folks who, spend time um, coming up with scams to scam you. They've done it before. So if you dig, you have to go digging and you will find, but a lot of them have done it before, so they know how to protect themselves. So one thing that they do, which doesn't allow you guys to find them as easy, is that when they get caught, they like to have the person, let's say you are buying a property from them or with them, and then they get caught. The one thing that they'll do is hide behind, a large name brand. They'll hide behind an attorney. They'll hide behind, things that you might have signed that you didn't realize, you were signing, things like that, because they know the laws. They know how to scam and stay around those laws. So when they get caught, the first thing they're going to ask you to do is sign over your information and your rights to not talk about it. Okay. So that's your first thing is when they get caught, they'll say, well, we'll pay you back, or, but we want you to stay quiet. And normally when that happens, then how do you find out about it? And so this means that there is not going to be anything on the court records for them, right? Because they're paying you back. So you wouldn't necessarily know that there were other people before you. So the second thing you want to go looking for is the actual court cases. Okay. So right now, what we are looking at in today's market is that in the US, for example, you can find court cases and things like that, but we're talking about international, right? So how do you find out if a person has court cases on them? Well, the first thing you need to do is you're going to have to go down to their courthouse and then have them or your attorney, and you can do this with an attorney, pay them a couple of $100, it might be even faster, and have the attorney who is in that courthouse's jurisdiction or their state capital or wherever it is, have them go and enter the person's name and then have those court cases will then show up. So you could see which cases are pending against the person, which cases they're having to settle, any of them are canceled, any of those kinds of things. You will have that there because any of the scammers who did not figure out a way to keep everybody quiet, they will normally have there will normally be a track record for them. So whether they settled or they went out of, you know, whatever it is, look for that. So, and the thing is, if no one, let's say there were 100 people or people in the past that they did this to, if they've if they've went ahead and paid them all back, then you wouldn't have a record to show that they have been scamming for, let's say, 15 years. How would you find it if everybody said, no, I'll just take my money, which the average person will say, just give me my money, I want to be done with this. And so you won't have anything on that person. So guys, the thing is, during your due diligence, make sure you just dig a little deeper, because not all these jurisdictions have the information readily available. Now, I'm your auntie and just bringing you the information right from my living room. So I'm over and out on this episode, and I will talk to you guys later. Stay away from the scammers.